Hello students, welcome to mathematics class. Students, here I am going to revise ratio and proportion chapter with the help of NCERT exemplar questions for the class 6th. And today's session will be the first session for the chapter ratio and proportion as a part of revision. Here in this NCERT exemplar problems from the ratio and proportion unit number 8 has got total 89 questions, in which 1 to 10 are MCQ type, where 11 to 15 are of fill in the box type. So put together they are objective types. From 16th to 34th question we have got true or false type questions, and later 35th to 46th we will have fill in the blanks types, and 47th to 89th question short answer type and long answer type questions are there. Now we will go for revising the main concepts of this chapter point by point. Later we will go for solving MCQ type questions and true or false type questions. Coming to the main concepts, you know the definition of ratio. The definition of ratio, or the meaning of the ratio, says it is a method of comparing two quantities by division. Okay, so we compare two quantities which are of two numbers finally by using division of them. So we call it as ratio, and symbol for showing the ratio, you know, these two dots. And you know, in a ratio, when we take the first number we call it as antecedent, and the second number will be called as consequent. Now moving on to the second point, for a ratio two quantities must be in the same units. So while we are finding ratio, we must take them into the same ratio, same units, and find ratio. If they are not, they should be expressed in the same units before we finding the ratio taken. Okay. Then another important point is a ratio may be treated as a fraction. Ratio can be treated as fraction. Suppose if I have got A is to B, it can be treated as A upon B, fraction. Another important point is two ratios are equivalent if the fractions corresponding to them are equivalent. If two fractions are equivalent, then we can say that those fractions converted into the form of ratio will be equivalent. So thus we get another important concept called proportion. So four quantities are said to be in proportion if the ratio of the first and second quantities is equal to the ratio of the third and fourth quantities. Normally symbol to express proportion is these four dots, or instead of that four dots we say proportional. Instead of that we can use equal also. Normally the ratio A is to B is equal to C is to D, then we say the quantities A, B, C and D are in proportion. And very important formula there we got, product of means is equal to the product of extremes. While preparing for your entrance exam you learned this, product of means is equal to the product of extremes. Then moving on to the order of terms in proportion, very important. Order of the terms is very important. If I want to say A, B, C and D are in proportion, I must write them in the same order. Changing order cannot be said as A, B, C, D are in proportion. If I interchange them and say A, B, C, D are in proportion is not correct. Okay, that is what for this example I am explaining. 3, 8, 24, 64 are 3, 8, 24 and 64 are in proportion, but 3, 8, 64 and 24 are not in proportion. Why? Because product of 8 and 24 is equals to the product of 64 and 3. Okay, but product of 8 and 64 is not equal to product of 3 and 24. You could observe that. Okay, you know 3 into 64 is equal to 8 into 24, but here as he says 3 into 24 cannot be equals to 8 into 64. That's why we have to write them in proper order. Now moving on to the another important point, the method in which first we find the value of one unit, then find the value of the required number of units is known as unitary method. Unitary method is just nothing but finding the value of one unit first, then finding the value of required number of units. Okay, with this, these three important topics I explained you. Now we will move on solving questions of the type MCQ. First question. Children, question number 1 to 10, they are of MCQ type as I already said. Now first question is, ratio of 8 books to 20 books is, ratio of 8 books. So 8 books upon 20 books. You know this fraction is not in lowest form. How to get it in lowest form? By cancelling both the numerator and denominator with their common factor. That we say highest common factor. What is the highest common factor of 8 and 20? If you can find with that number, they both get cancelled. You know highest common factor of them is 4. So 4 2s are and 4 5s are. Thus I got a fraction 2 is to 5. After converting it into the ratio, it becomes 2 is to 5. Therefore the right option is A. Okay, so this is how we solve the given numbers, bringing them into the ratio. Second question. Now the ratio of the number of sides of a square. Children, number of sides of a square, how many will be there? 4. That we are very much aware. Another important thing, number of edges of a cube. Do you know how many edges will be there in a cube? See here, I have to count. You know what is cube? You might have played with die, or you might have seen, or you might have played with Rubik's cube. They are all example for cube. Children, it's a three-dimensional object with length, breadth and height. You count now how many edges are there. These line segments are called edges. You know, along the length I have, okay, here 1 2 3 4. Along the length I have 4, and along the breadth I have 4. You know what are the breadth wise? 1 2 3 4. So along the height wise I have 4. Totally 12 edges will be there. So ratio of them, if you find after cancelling with their HCF of 4 and 12 is 4. So 4 1s are and 4 3s are, gives you 1 is to 3 as the ratio. So right option is D. Then moving on to the question number third. Question number third, a picture is 60 centimeter wide, okay, 60 centimeter wide and 1.8 meter of long. 1.8 meter is just nothing but 180 centimeter. You know, for 1 meter we have 100 centimeter. So 1.8 into 100 gives you 180 centimeter as the length. Now they are asking you to find the ratio of its width to its perimeter. That means I have to find first perimeter. Most of the times we go quickly calculate 60 is to 180 and go wrong by choosing B. Even I did a mistake while doing. So reading complete question and understanding it is very important. Here we are asked to find the ratio between the width to its perimeter. To its perimeter means I have to first find perimeter. What is the perimeter of this shape? You know, this shape is rectangle, therefore its perimeter is adding all the sides, that is twice length and twice breadth, or you know the formula 2 times of L plus B, 2 times of L plus B, where L is 180 centimeter plus B is 60 centimeter, and 180 plus 60 is 240, 240 into 2 times gives you 480 centimeter. Here they are asking us ratio of width, that is 60 centimeter, to its perimeter, that is 480 centimeter. Now on simplification, 0 cancels, 6 ones are and 6 8s are, it becomes 1:8. So right option is D. Okay children, very important questions. Then moving on to the fourth question, Neelam's annual income is 2,88,000. Her annual savings amount to rupees 36,000. The ratio of her savings to her expenditure. Remember children, annual income you know, and you need to understand what is her savings to her expenditure. Here her savings very much clearly I know 36,000 it is, but her expenditure, how to find expenditure? 2,88,000 minus 36,000 gives us her expenditure. Why? Because out of her income, if I take away her savings, gives me her expenditure, which will be 8 minus 6 2, 8 minus 3 5, so 2. So 2,52,000 is her expenditure. So ratio of her savings to her expenditure. Now can you find out? 0 zeros, 3 zeros get cancels. Now this cancellation you do it, okay? So cancellation will do here. 4 9s are 36, 4 6s are 24, 4 3s are 12. Then moving on to the further cancellation, 9 1s are 9, 7s are. So right option is 1:7. So B is the right option. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. Question number 5. Mathematics textbook for class 6 has 320 pages. The chapter symmetry runs from the page number 261 to 272 page. The ratio of the number of pages of this chapter to the total number of pages of this book. You know, total number of pages is 320 and number of pages of this symmetry chapter from 261 to 272 there are 12 pages. So 12 is to 320. Now on simplification, 4 3s are 12 and 4 8 is a 320. So right answer is 3 is to 80, which is C is the right answer. Okay. Then moving on to the next question number 6. In question number 6, in a box, the ratio of red marbles to blue marbles. Here there are red marbles and blue marbles, and their ratio is 7:4. And here the question says, which of the following could be the total number of marbles in the box? Remember, total number of marbles should be the sum of these parts. If I say red marbles, 7 parts are there, and blue marbles are 4 parts are there. So total number of marbles, if at all I want to find, I have to find total number of marbles by taking sum of these parts. So total number of marbles should be 7 plus 4, that means 11 parts. Here either I have total number of marbles in 11 or multiples of 11, okay, which means multiples 11 should be there. 18 is not possible, 19 is not possible, 21 is not possible because they are not multiples of 11, and the only possibility is D because it's a multiple of 11. That's how we will identify. Right option is D here. Moving on to the question number 7. On a shelf, books with green cover and that with brown cover are in the ratio 2:3. Okay, that means green cover books, if I have 2, okay, and brown cover books will be 3 in number. Remember, it is not exactly 2 and 3, it is 2 parts and 3 parts. That is what ratio always says. If I have 20 green books, green covered books, then I will have 30 brown covered books. Remember, if I know this much concept, then it is easy for me to tell the answer. If there are 18 books of green covered, then how many number of books with brown cover will be there? So 2:3. When will it become 18? That means 2 parts becoming 18 books means 9 times of 2. Same 9 times have to come for 3. That means 27 books of brown cover supposed to be there. So right option is C here. So 27 brown covered books are there. Okay, this is how you need to think. Then moving on to the question number 8. The greatest ratio among the ratios 2:3, 5:8, 75:121 and 40:25 is. See children, for this question, do you require separately calculating anything? Do you have any short way of identifying? Suppose if you people do not use your common sense, you will be keep calculating like this. 2/3 is 0.6 bar, like this. 5/8, you will be keep on going calculating it. If I have common sense, I will not do anything, I'll straight away say answer D is the right one. Why? Why? Because first 3 ratios are, they are ratios of the type proper. What do you mean by proper? Because they are proper fractions. They must be less than 1. Whereas fourth one, that is 40/25 fraction is improper. it is greater than 1. That means definitely that is the greatest ratio. So that's how I'll straight away say the answer. So see the quickly what is possible to identify. Okay, then moving on to the question number 9. There are 8 boys and there are B boys and G girls in a class. The ratio of number of boys to the total number of students. How do you find total number of students? Total number of students by adding both boys and girls. So total number of students will be by adding boys and girls. Okay, so ratio between the number of boys to the total number of students will be B is to B plus G, that is A is the right option. Okay, then moving on to the last question of MCQ type. With that I will wind up this session also. The last question is, if a bus travels 160 km in 4 hours and a train travels 320 km in 5 hours at uniform speeds, the ratio of the distance travelled by them in 1 hour. So first, bus that it travels distance is 160 by 4 kilometers travels in 1 hour. Okay, in 1 hour, HOUR, 1 hour. So distance covered by the bus, okay, 160 km in 1 hour, whereas train 320 kilometers upon 5 in 1 hour. So what is 160 by 4? It gives 40 kilometers. What is 320 by 5? It is 64 kilometers. Now they are asking us to find the ratio of the distance travelled by them in 1 hour. That means they are asking us to 40. See, a bus travels 40 is to 64. That means we have to find out 8 5s are 8 8s are. So 5 is to 8. Here 5 is to 8 and 8 is to 5, both are there. How will you choose? Here, since he mentioned a bus first and train next, and he is not mentioning anywhere specifically that train to bus or bus to train, so we assume first as bus and next as train. With that, 5 is to 8 is the right option. C is the right option. Okay, then so with this I'll wind up this today's session, and I'll take rest of the questions, that is from 11th question onwards, in our next session. Okay, till then take care of yourself. Jai Hind. Thank you.